Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of the Flying Changes show, and I am very pleased today to welcome a very special guest. It was difficult to get hold of her, but we did in the end. I'd love to welcome today an amazing lady who just promotes a really cool thing and has a really great outlook in life, and I just had to have her on the show. So welcome, Rachael, or as most people know of you as Ray. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us and to discuss some things with us today, all about body positivity, living life to the full, doing what you want to do as long as it doesn't harm anyone else, and just being out there doing what you want to do and loving what you love. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Rachael. Tell us something that helps us to understand who you are.
Oh gosh. So I was born in South Africa. And I moved to England in 2002. I've always had a thing for horses. I think I first sat on a horse when I was on a family holiday in the Drakensberg Mountains. And yeah, I just fell, head over heels for them. And I wouldn't shut up about horses. I didn't start lessons until I was maybe like 7 or 8. And then the place changed hands. It got a bit expensive. And then we ended up moving, and when we moved we couldn't really afford to take me for lessons and stuff like that, so it was a few years later, after I'd kind of settled into high school, that I started lessons again. Then it just kind of same situation, got a bit too expensive. I had a couple of loan horses like in between this part, but then I went to uni in 2010 and I started riding with my husband's university team because my uni didn't have one. It didn't have a riding club. So I started riding with them. And then in my second year, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to start my own. So I started an equestrian club at my university. And yeah, I stuck through it all the way through uni and had a couple of loans, I was on summer holidays and stuff. Then finishing uni, had a 1-part loan and then a full loan, and then I ended up buying my super cob Pepper back in 2015. So I've had her 6 years now, and she's just the best. She everything and more that I wanted in a horse, even though she was not what I was looking for. I really wanted a gelding, something that was unusual in colour, or quite striking, that stood out, and a schoolmaster, and she was a Green Bay mare, so I couldn't be further from what I wanted.
Do you know, I love that, and I hear it all the time that whatever we don't want is what we end up with. I didn't want a grey, so I got a grey. And it doesn't matter. I mean, one of the friends of mine said exactly the same thing. She said, I don't want a mare, I don't want it under 16 hands, and I don't want it over 10 years old. So she's about to buy a 15 to 14-year-old mare. Okay, cool. So obviously, a very common and very similar to mine, actually, story about how you've managed to do the riding. I set up our university riding club as well, weirdly enough. And all of that. So you've got your gorgeous, what was your peg? No, it wasn't Pepper. That was it. Pepper, your gorgeous, gorgeous cob. And in the last couple of years, something's changed for you. I don't know if it's changed for you, but certainly people are now more aware of you. So tell us a little bit about your social media and what you do and what you love to promote within it, with you and the gorgeous Pepper.
So my social media also has a bit of a backstory. The reason I've kept my username is because I actually started my YouTube channel back in 2006. So I've kind of had a presence on social media for a really long time, and I've seen kind of the evolution of how it's all changed. And I started by making like silly little horse videos and stuff like that, and kind of progressed to making sort of like more cinematic kind of equestrian sport videos that got really popular at one point. And that was even all the way through uni. I was still editing, and it was always a big passion of mine and something that I really, really enjoyed doing, and I still really enjoy doing. And vlogging wasn't even a thing back then, like it didn't exist. And I started my Instagram probably when I was in university, I think. So I've had that going for quite a long time. But yeah, like being an influencer or a YouTuber wasn't a career path. And that started to take off maybe 2, 3, 4 years before I started really taking it seriously, I guess. But the pivotal point for me was last year, losing my father-in-law and then having a baby and then going into lockdown. And I think lockdown, I just had a lot of time to reflect. And that's when I really started to think about what I could do with my Instagram. I didn't really plan to, I don't know, for it to go the way it has. But yeah, I just started taking things a bit more seriously and thinking, how can I make a difference to myself and to other people?
And that's where it all began then, like seriously began. So you're out there, you've got this mission, you think, how can I make a difference to myself and to other people? What is it that's fueled this for you? And what is the difference that you're trying to make?
I think the thing that started it was I'd never really had nice riding clothes. And I was determined to find, I think it was like trying to think of where my YouTube channel could go initially. And I was thinking, do you know what? I like watching other people do try-on hauls. So they might order from like Shein or Wish or Pretty Little Things or whatever, and they'll try a clothes haul on. And I thought, do you know what? This could be a cool concept for the equestrian community. And I think I had seen a couple of people do it, but obviously no one that was my size. And I had seen some like regular clothing hauls from plus size people, and I thought, you know what, that's quite an interesting concept. And that kind of started this journey of like, okay, I'm going to try and find some nice equestrian attire. And it was a struggle, and I'm still like always searching for inclusive brands like that. And yeah, I found a couple such as Flexers, who I'm now very lucky to be sponsored by, the Wide Boot Company, who I believe you've had on the show before. Bex, she is absolutely amazing. I'm a brand ambassador for them now. And Blackfoot Equestrian as well is one of my other favorites. But yeah, just kind of went on this mad search, and that's when my first try-on video came, and kind of it's been up and up from there, really.
Cool. So you started off in the search of finding things for you that, you know, you could wear, that you look good in, you feel good in. What is it that you felt was missing? And I know you said something to me earlier when, well, I don't know if we could put that on the podcast. And I said, yeah, I think, do you know what? I think that we can. It's what you believe. It's what you found. What was the problem that you found in the industry at the time when you were starting to sort of look, and probably very much still exists, you know? Well, it does, doesn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, so I think the equestrian fashion industry is really lagging behind from the modern fashion industry, where we're starting to see more inclusive models. We see models with disabilities, plus size models, things like that. And you just don't really see that. People of color as well. And I do feel like the equestrian fashion industry is very much like a skinny, white, rich girl's place, you know. And I get that a lot of it is obviously sport driven, and brands like to use athletes to promote their products, and a lot of them obviously are built that way. But the majority of riders are just happy hackers, or, you know, amateurs, and we aren't, you know, we don't have, not all of us have that physique, but yeah, we should still be considered, you know, when you're designing clothes. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And we brought you on here to have your opinion, because I think, you know, people having their opinions and putting issues out there to the clothing industry and to the designers and to the brands, I don't think, sometimes they don't realize there's an issue until someone starts to shout about it. You know, they go, oh, we never really thought of that. I mean, I know certainly some of the companies that you've worked with are really finding it really important that actually they do listen to people and what they want, because actually they're the ones who are going to be buying the clothes. So tell us a little bit then about body positivity and what that means to you and why it's so important for you and your cause.
Well, I have always battled with my weight. I've always been yo-yo dieting, and I got really badly bullied in school. I mean, you can imagine, goth girl, you know, I wasn't even that big. You know, I was what we now know is the average size. I was about a size 16, and I got bullied like you would not believe. And I think that caused me to have years and years and years of like, I can't wear this, or I can't do this, I can't do that, or I'm self-conscious about this. And yeah, like I was saying, when I lost my father-in-law, who was the fittest in the family, he was really hardworking, never, you know, he never had sick days unless he really had to, and he wanted to provide for his family, and he had cancer, and it just was so unfair. And he never got a retirement or anything like that. You know, he never got to enjoy all this hard-earned money that he made. And that was kind of the pivotal point in my life when I thought, why do I care what other people think? You know, what's the point in living like that? Because you're just going to hold yourself back from doing things that you want to do and things that you want to enjoy. And don't get me wrong, there's still times when I think, oh, you know, I am still self-conscious about my weight, and I think I always will be. But yeah, I think that's what kind of gave me that drive to help other people come out of this.
Yeah, incredible. And I think, you know, having someone, because you are a very strong character, you know, your presence online is very positive and what have you. I know, I don't know specifically your story, but I am fully aware that doing that and being out there and being yourself and just saying, just be you, and it's okay, you know, not to be a size 10 and all that stuff as a horse rider, you get flack. You do get people saying things. And I mean, you know, one of the obvious things that people say is either you're too heavy for your horse, or it's not healthy to be a bigger person. You know, what's the kind of things that you've had to deal with, or, you know, that you've created ways of dealing with that stuff that actually is still positive and still works for you, and means that you're not being brought down by it all the time as well? Because otherwise you can't really help others, can you, if that's what's happening to you as well?
There are times when the hate comments really do get to you, and I get that, you know, you're too big for your horse and this, that and the other, but at the end of the day, these people don't know you. They don't know your horse, they don't know the journey you've been on with them, they don't know why you are the size you are. Some people have, you know, PCOS, they have meds that they have to take that cause weight gain, or like I've come in to understand now, having a personal trainer, how bad yo-yo dieting has been for me all my life. And that's why my body's in this state now where it's really difficult to lose weight. So I'm learning all new stuff about, you know, that kind of side of things. And I found out that you can block certain words from being commented on Instagram and on TikTok and stuff like that. And that's really helped. That's probably been one of the biggest things that's helped, as well as my husband is a massive, you know, support system for me. And when people comment, he's just like, why do you care about that? Like it means absolutely nothing. And he's right, but I don't know, it does still get to you. You know, there are days, especially if I'm already low, where those comments really hit hard, and then I just kind of take a step back and I'm like, do you know what, I need a break, kind of, you know, reconfigure and then come back to it. But yeah, it never gets easier hearing it. But I think the best advice I can give people is that, you know, you and the professionals who work with you and your horse are the ones that matter. They're the only opinions that you should care about. If your vet's happy, their physio, everyone who works with you and your horse is happy, then that's all that matters. And that's what I keep telling myself. So, and plus, you know, your horse, you know, a horse wouldn't let someone carry them who was too heavy for them. They'd let you know, especially a mare. Let me tell you, if she's not happy, like I know when she needs the physio out, because she starts kind of doing these little bucks and things, or she might need the saddle check in. That's how I know. And you have these cues with your horse that you'll know if something's not right. And there have been times when I've thought I need to stop and I've got too heavy. There have been times where I've been like that and I've stopped riding and I've focused on myself and just let her be a horse. So I think people think that, I don't know, because I'm big and I'm riding, I don't care, or that I don't think that it's an issue. It's something that literally plagues me. Like my weight is something that it's a real big issue for me and something that I really struggle with all the time. So people really need to think about what they say before they leave comments.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's so many generalizations that people make that, you know, because you're not a tiny person, that you must be lazy or you're not balanced or you're not fit enough. But actually, body size and fitness make no difference, particularly, do they? You can be really unfit and very skinny, and you can be really quite fit and, you know, bigger. And you know, I think there's a lot of generalizations there. And I think there's a lot of generalization as well about how you ride. You could be very unbalanced as a tiny person and gob them and smack them and, you know, actually cause your horse more harm than someone who's actually able to balance and ride in balance and stay in balance with their horse and not hinder them too much. So what's been your kind of experience of that as well, of like actually the generalizations that people make and the way that you in your social media can tackle them and talk about them and, you know, debunk the myths?
Yeah, I think that's a massive part of like the blogging side of my YouTube channel and my Instagram, is just to share the good and the bad moments, so people realize that it's okay to go through the bad bits. You know, it's so easy to watch a few seconds of a video of someone riding and say, you're ramming them in the gob, you're kicking too hard, you're doing this, you're doing that. But that's such a small percentage of, like a tiny percentage of what you and your horse are doing and what you're working on. And I've had, like, you know, the poor horse comments and stuff, and I think, poor horse, this horse gets treated like a queen. She has the best bedding, the best feed, everything. You know, I go without so that she can have. She's got a better wardrobe than me. Anyone who follows me knows that I'm a matchy addict, and she's got like 45 matchy sets. So she gets literally the best of everything. And I've seen people who never get their horses' backs checked. They don't have money to get the horse's feet done regularly, so they go without, you know, things like that. You can't judge someone based on what you see online. A lot of people don't share as much as I do, you know, so to go ahead and leave comments like that, it's just totally unnecessary. And I mean, from my experience, the people who have left these comments are not, you know, a lot of them don't have any footage or photos of them at all for a start, or they're young. So that's another reason why I kind of take it with a pinch of salt. A lot of them are kind of 12-year-old kids who think they're being funny or think they know better because they've watched like Heartland or whatever. So they think they're an expert in that respect. But yeah.
And I think it's so true what you're saying as well, that a particular photo or a particular piece of footage or an edit of something can show a problem or mask a problem, one or the other.
Yeah.
And actually, I think this is a common problem that a lot of our professional riders come across as well. And certainly working with the ones that I do, is their social media presence. They have to be really careful what they post and things as well, because they get the same stuff and they're the professional riders. They are absolutely hammered for using the whip too much, using the spurs too much, riding in drawings, you know, sort of things that actually they're professionals. They know why and how they do it, but people can take it out of context, see that split second of whatever it is and hammer them for being terrible and not understanding the backstory. So why is it so important for you to show the backstory and show the truth about things? And how has that helped other people in you doing so?
I think I've always just been like a really honest person. Like, that's just who I am. And I can't lie. Like, I just can't lie. So when I go through these things, I know if I'm watching someone else, I would want to know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I would want to know the full side of things, or at least, you know, as much as I can. It kind of makes you more, what's the word? Like, you can relate to them more. So I like watching YouTubers and Instagrammers and things who are very real, very open, very honest about everything. Yeah, because I don't know, it's like you almost have this relationship with a person through a screen. It's really odd. Like, you think, oh, I'd love to be best friends with them or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. That's a really difficult one.
Well, I think you just did, which is, you know, just be you and put what you think and what you feel and whatever that is at the time. Do you know, haters are going to hate regardless. It does not matter what you do, they're not going to like you. You could be really good at something, they're not going to like you. You could be really bad at something, they're not going to like you. Like, you know, so you've just got to be you, really, haven't you? And just accept the fact that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine, because they're not in your tribe. So what's been the positive impact that you've found, and what have been the kind of nice comments and the positive things that have come about with you doing what you do and posting what you post?
This is something that I try to focus on a lot, is I get way more positive comments than I do negative. And it is always the negative ones that just, I don't know, they just grind you so much harder. But I do have way more positive comments, and a lot of people message me saying, thank you so much for just being you, and like, thank you for sharing where you get your clothes is probably one of the biggest ones I get, because, you know, this is what's driven me to keep going as well, is that there clearly is a lack of inclusivity in the equestrian fashion industry, because so many people have messaged me to say thank you, and I get messages literally every day. Where do you get your boots from? Where do you get your jackets from? Where do you get your breeches from? Like, if there really is an issue with this, you know, with this area. And I was actually talking to Bex yesterday about, I was looking again at brands, and I found one, and they put their extra large as a 16 plus, and I was like, hang on a minute, you would never get like, so they put extra large is 16 plus, but they would never put like a small minus. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is this, why are we like just completely shoved to one side, when you don't even necessarily need to be fat, which I hate that word anyway, but you don't have to be fat to wear a bigger size of clothing. Some people are more busty, some people have bigger shoulders or longer arms, and they have to, you know. And with the boots as well, with Bex, we did a whole video about this on my YouTube channel, if anyone was interested, about the issues of going to a tack store and not being able to pick up what you need. Like, boots are so like small in sizing, but you think about it, we're doing a sport, and our calves are naturally going to be bigger and built bigger than other people's. So why are riding boots so skinny, built so tight, you know, fitted, when a lot of people, even though they might be like a size 12, 14, might still have bigger calves because they're using them, you know, and their muscles.
Yep, very true. It's got to be clothing for bodies, doesn't it, really, you know, for whatever body you have. So do you feel like the industry is changing a little bit and that you're a part of that, or have you not really noticed it?
No, I think it is changing, and I've spoken to a lot of men as well, actually, who, you know, there seems to be a huge lack of men's clothing that isn't extortionately expensive, which is strange, because if you look at the top riders, a lot of them are men, so there is definitely a lack in that respect as well. But I don't know if I've had a direct impact, but I do, you know, speak to brands a lot, and if I find one that, you know, is inclusive, I will say thank you so much, you know, for bringing this to the table, and if you ever want any help with promotion or anything like that, like, I'm happy to promote brands like that. So yeah, like I said, I don't know if there's a direct link there, but I have seen, well, if you look at my channel and stuff, I found more brands along the way that I've started to wear and enjoy. So yeah, I'm just finding out about them, or more of them are popping up. But someone like Flexes, for example, they've just introduced a size 22 to 24. So I think they are recognizing it.
Yeah, I'm sat in my Flexars right now, actually. They are the best things ever. I'm going to go to Pilates later in my Flexars and then straight to the horse. They're great. And they're super comfy and they're lovely. And actually, the women that run the company are just gorgeous. I met them at Windsor. We had an absolute blast. I was with them on the stand next door with Jake Tower, and it was just brilliant fun. They are the blast, those ladies. So So from a mindset perspective, then we've talked about, you know, the negativity that you get, and we've talked about the positivity that you get. What about in your own riding? What are your kind of goals, dreams, aspirations? What do you want to achieve? And what's it about for you from a riding perspective?
I think my perspective in life in general is just to have fun. Peps is a complete all-rounder. You know, I'd say my main interest lies with kind of dressage. I find dressage really interesting, and I can't believe it's so overlooked by people, because once you kind of crack your flat work and your dressage, everything else clicks into place so much better, like the hacking, the jumping, everything. But we have done, you know, so we've competed in dressage, showing, which is probably the main reason I bought her, was because I wanted a show cob. So showing, show jumping. I'm hoping to go and do cross country for the first time very soon. What else? We've done horseback archery, sidesaddle. So it was just like, I mean, I do have goals to go out and compete. Like, I would love to do really well in dressage, like maybe to get to sort of novice elementary level with her would be great. If I could go any further than that, then that'd be amazing, because she's got really good collected paces. She actually struggles more with extended stuff, I think, because she's so compact. So I would love to do that, but at the end of the day, it is just about having fun. I love capturing our memories together, taking lots of photos and lots of videos, because at the end of the day, that's all we'll have one day of them. So yeah, just have as many memories as possible and just enjoy your time with them. That's what it should be about.
100% agree with you on that one. Especially when they're a hobby, and you can do whatever you want, just enjoy it. Like life, like you say, life is too short. We have them as a hobby. We're meant to enjoy them. So do whatever you want to do. I mean, I've got an unusual sport that I partake in. I do working equitation. But you should have a go, Ray. You'd love it. You'd absolutely love working equitation. You've got to come and do some stuff. And actually people are like, oh, that's a bit of a weird hobby. Are you doing that because you can't do the other sports? And it's like, no, I've had a go at all of them. Like, this one I just love. And I think sometimes just doing what you want to do, like, as long as you and your horse are happy, great. Right, so I'm going to quick fire some questions at you now. Are you ready for this? What do people wrongly assume about you?
Probably that I'm too heavy for Peps. Probably the main one.
Okay, and what do you know for sure?
That I'm not.
Not necessarily in relation to that. What do you know for sure about life or anything, really? What's for sure for you?
Like I said to you before, life is too short. Just grab the bull by the horns and go for it. If you've got something that you want to do, don't hold back from it. If you see something that you want to wear, just bloody wear it. Like, who cares? Just be you, and unequivocally you. Just enjoy life.
Awesome. Love it. What's one word that describes you?
Oh, I could think of a few. I'll go with, like, do I have to choose one?
I'll let you have three. I'll let you have three.
Kind, weird, and crazy.
Okay, they're cool. Right. Okay. What's your biggest learning that's actually turned into your greatest asset in life?
Probably just that, you know, I keep saying it, life is too short, and just knowing that, like, what I wear in a day-to-day basis doesn't matter to anyone else. It doesn't harm anybody else. So if I want to wear my riding shirt tucked into my breeches, which seems to be like a no can do situation for someone who's my size, I'll just do it anyway.
Love it. Brilliant. And finally, to finish off then, what's the craziest thing you've ever done that you're prepared to share?
I don't know about crazy, but I'll share, like, my silliest fall for you, because I think that's a pretty crazy thing to have happened. I went on a holiday to Little Lodge in Thetford, and you get to swim with the horses there if you want to. And we were swimming, everything was going great, and I decided to take the saddle off and go in bareback. And yeah, everything was fine. And then I decided, because there was someone there with my camera, that I would put my arms out for a nice photo. And Peps decided to take herself up the bank when I had no reins. So I kind of grabbed on for a few seconds. And in those few seconds, I kind of looked down and I was like, either I fall off and land in the water, or I fall off and I land on the side of the bank. So I just let go. This all happened in a split second. I landed in the water. And the video is so funny because you just hear me go under the water. And then I get back up and Peps is just gone. I'm like, thanks for that. Literally leave me in the drink.
Oh, brilliant. Love them. They're brilliant. It is funny. I've swum with horses before and they get really, really slippery. And the funniest part that I found was that as you both start to float, they just sort of float underneath you and you can easily float off.
Yeah.
Which is all very well until you're then swimming to try and get back onto them, because as you then come back to the shore again, you've parted otherwise, and then it's really quite difficult to do. So love that. And I'm going to go, is your video there to go and find?
It is, yeah.
Awesome. We're going to go and look that up. Okay, so thank you so much, Ray. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we could have covered loads more, but we were on a bit of a time frame today before your little baby girl wakes up. So making sure she's been really good though, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's still asleep.
Thank goodness. So is there anything else you'd like to leave us with, or say, or just give us a message to anyone that you think would sum our chat up today?
I get a lot of people asking me like how I have a presence on camera, I suppose. And I think that it does come down to just be yourself, just do what you want to do, enjoy life to the fullest. Yeah, just be you, do what you want to do. Don't let anyone hold you back. Love it.
So just be you, as long as it's not hurting anyone else deliberately. Be you, because haters are going to hate regardless. Doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to like it. So that's their problem, not yours as well. Like,
down to you, they've probably got their own issues, and that's why they're out on you. So
that's exactly it. And that is so the case with trolls or anything on the internet, and indeed in real life. When people have a real issue with you, it's normally what we call projection. It's normally their problem they're putting onto you. And actually, unless you have deliberately done something to really hurt someone, then you can normally assume that you just crack on, carry on, and make sure what you're doing isn't deliberately hurting anyone else.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Ray. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you, and it's brilliant following what you're up to and your funny videos. They're absolutely fab. How you come up with them, I don't know. That is one thing I can absolutely assure you. I am not in any way creative to come up with the kind of things you do. I sit there and think, where do you get these ideas from? They're incredible.
I come from a kind of, my degree is in fine art and photography, kind of a creative design kind of area anyway. So I think that's where it comes from. And then, maybe just spending the last, I don't even want to think about it, since 2006 on YouTube, and kind of growing up with social media and watching social media change, going from MySpace to Bebo to Facebook and all the rest of it. I think, and being around a lot of creative people in my studies too has probably kind of influenced that creative brain of mine.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's been absolutely brilliant listening to you and sharing your body positivity message and what you're about with others. If people want to see what you're up to, maybe drop you a message, get hold of you, if there's any brands out there that would love to work with you or anything as well, how do they do that? So my social handle is Ray the Goth, which I've kept all these years. People have said it's too nostalgic now and I can't change it. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep it. And my email is also raythegoth@live.co.uk if anyone wants to drop me a message. Super. Well, I'm sure you'll be inundated now. You might have regretted that one. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to following you, seeing what you're up to, and supporting you in the cause of just be who you want to be and enjoy whatever you choose to enjoy. So thank you so much, Ray, and we will no doubt see you again in the future. Thank you for having me. Bye.